Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Carl Fitzpatrick.
Southeast Radio.
Fidelma McGuirk from Payslip has recently secured over €8 million in funding for the business and is planning to create 150 new jobs. Fidelma will be discussing the success which you've achieved with Payslip. But first, I'd like to hear about your deep-rooted Wexford connections.
Yeah, I have long Wexford connections. So I grew up outside New Ross on the Enniscorthy side. So I have a lot of experience picking strawberries and doing good, solid Wexford activities. So I had a good time there.
So talk to me about your journey once you left Wexford.
Oh, well, I took the path that many students have once they have their leaving cert done and went to Trinity in college and then studied business studies in German. I went from there into a career in business operations and international management. And I suppose from that, over like 15 years, I could see a lack of technology available for managing global payroll. So that was what led me to the idea to set up Payslip.
Okay, so once you saw the opportunity, the niche in the market for the business, how did you go about setting it up?
Well, I had the idea myself from my own experience, and I firstly did a lot of market research to ensure that it was a scalable problem, like there was a large part of the market that needed the technology. So I attended some courses in the US run by the Global Payroll Management Institute, and I also talked to a lot of multinational companies that I was networked with in Ireland and in Europe. And once I really understood that there was a consistent unserved need for multinational companies to have technology to manage the payroll, I founded the company in 2016 in Westport, and I started to prepare the plans for what the technology would look like. And I started to build a team with engineers and some key people to build that. So it took a couple of years to build it because it's quite complicated software. And we launched the software then in early 2018, which is just over 3 years ago. And we started to proactively sell to multinational companies and win customers. So we're doing well at this stage with over 35 customers on the platform, running payrolls across over 70 countries.
Now, of course, in the payroll market, there's a lot of large providers of payroll software out there, from Sage to Big Red Book and many, many more. It's hard to understand how none of them had filled that particular niche.
Yeah, so the companies you mentioned there, Sage and Big Red Book, are very good providers of payroll software for the Irish market. And also they have, Big Red Book, I know, has accounting software modules as well. And they're very good providers in Ireland. What our technology does is it helps employers who have payroll in many countries to manage the process across all of those countries. So our customers, whether it's FICE or Teamwork or AMCS Group, as some Irish examples, they outsource their payroll to in-country specialists like accounting firms in those countries. And when you have payroll in more than 5 countries, the process in your own company and across all those different vendors becomes quite complicated. There's a lot of data moving. There are lots of different deadlines in the different countries. There's a lot of people involved, from finance to HR to audit and control. So what our technology does in Payslip is it enables the multinational companies to standardise how they manage their payroll across all the countries and to manage all of the data, the people, the payrolls and the vendors in one place.
And of course, your target market specifically is multinational companies that are operating in many countries and in some cases across the world. So in that respect, how straightforward has it been for you to get in and actually meet the payroll staff within those organisations and to demonstrate your system and to get them on board as clients?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So we're targeting mid-market and enterprise companies. So they're really big. They have very professional procurement processes and information security and data protection requirements. So the first thing that's really important when you're selling to them is to ensure that you're going to have the certifications and the approvals that they need you to have. So we secured the ISO 27000 information security certification, and that gives them peace of mind in terms of our commitment to information security and data protection. In terms of the sales process is long. It can be 6, it can be 9 months. But if they're committed to finding technology, then you know at least that you're in a process that's designed to deliver that sale. So the most important thing is that we make sure that we market our technology and our solution to the right people in those organisations, whether that's in finance, payroll or procurement.
Now, how important has it been to integrate with other enterprise resource management systems that some of those multinational companies were using?
Yeah, they all do have something in place. You're absolutely right. So most of our customers are using SuccessFactors from SAP or Workday or Oracle as their HR system, and then they might use SAP or Workday as their financial system. So we have an integration core already built that enables our customers' data to flow seamlessly from their HR system into Payslip. And we also have a general ledger module so that the output data can feed into their accounting system in the way that they need it every month as well. So it is a core piece of development that needed to be done. And as soon as the platform was in a good steady state, then we set our minds on building out those integration modules.
I'm very interested in finding out, how did Westport win out over Wexford?
Well, I'm afraid I'd already moved to Westport just before I started to set it up, so Westport won out before that. My mother did ask me the same question. She said, if you wanted to be by the sea, we have plenty of coast down here. but there is a difference in the wave strength, I have to say, between the Irish Sea and also the ocean. So we had a history over many years of coming to the west to go hiking, biking and kayaking, as I say, and lots of surfing. So we were quite fond of Mayo and Achill, and then we kind of moved down the coast a little bit to Westport. So I'm afraid I didn't really give Wexford a huge amount of chance. I have to say that the mountains just aren't really very high and there aren't as many of them.
And tell me this, what have been the benefits and challenges associated with growing a global tech company from rural Ireland?
Yeah, so our customers don't mind where we are because we have a unique technology that meets their needs. And we could be in Westport in Ireland or Westport in Connecticut or Westport in New Zealand. As long as our technology works and is secure for them, they don't mind where we are. So the only real impact it has then on the customer is for us in terms of the sales process and for us in terms of their customer support. By definition, our customers are implementing our platform to run payrolls across 20, 30 countries. So their own teams are distributed in loads of places anyway, and they don't even meet each other in one place. So if they're meeting us on a Teams or a Zoom call, it's the same way in which they meet their own colleagues, so they don't have a problem with that.
And of course, with cybersecurity being at the forefront of everyone's mind at the present time, and of course the fact that your company, Payslip, has access to some personal and sensitive financial information about people, what's your approach to cybersecurity and protecting that data?
Oh, well, I mean, the cybersecurity and information security is an ongoing it's an ongoing core objective and principle on which you build everything. So we have very strong processes for building encryption and layers and protection around internally in the software, around the software and how it's housed and hosted and how it's accessed. So access controls are very important, and then business continuity around all of your IT systems. And then we secured also, as I mentioned, the certification for ISO 27000 to show our commitment to our customers to top-level information security. So we will continue to maintain and invest in that. We also secured this year an additional certification from ISO specifically for B2B technology that hosts PII data, so sensitive data, and that's the ISO 27701, and we're the first company in the global payroll sector to achieve that.
And Fidelma Payslip has recently completed a Series A funding round, having raised in excess of €8 million. Talk to us about this funding round and how you plan to utilise this finance to grow the business.
Yeah, so we're really pleased. We have had a great track record with our seed investors, and they followed on since then. So we've had investment from Enterprise Ireland, Frontline Ventures, HBAN and Tribal since 2018. And this year now they're joined by two fintech investors. One is called Middle Game VC and the other is called Moro, who are the ventures arm of Santander Bank. And it's great. They have expertise in funding and in growing fintech companies. They have excellent teams available to support us in our objectives. And really, we're growing our own team considerably. So we have team here in Westport and also in Dublin. We have some new starters starting in the next month based in Cork. And then we also have international teams across the US, UK, Spain and Bulgaria. So we'd like to secure as many of the jobs as we can in Ireland, especially in Westport. We're currently in the process of securing bigger office space. We have several options available to us in Westport, and we're also looking at other options that have been offered proactively to us in other counties, depending on where the labour market is really. So really we're hiring a lot of people in, a lot of computer scientists, computer engineers, data analysts, project managers and customer success managers.
Fidelma, finally, what advice do you have for any startup fintech entrepreneurs that are listening to Business Matters this morning?
Stay out of global payroll. I'm only joking. I think fundamentally, we're a poster child in Payslip for the strong system that is available in Ireland to support startups. So we initially got a grant from our local enterprise office. Then we joined and applied to EICSF, the Competitive Start Fund, and got that. And then we were successful in becoming a part of the HPSU, the High Potential Startup Unit in Enterprise Ireland, and then going into the venture capital. So if you're building a software company and have plans to do so, there are good structures available in the county level and then also at the national level across your LEO and Enterprise Ireland, and they are phenomenal. So I would definitely advise that you start by talking to them, because they've had all these conversations before. They know the supports, they know some of the pain points, and also they can introduce you to other companies who've experienced some of the learning points that you're going to go to and have a chat with them. So there's a very strong founder network in Ireland, and founders are happy to have conversations with other founders as questions arise. So I think there's two really good opportunities there for any potential founders.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Fidelma McGuirk from Payslip, and we look forward to watching this company as it continues to grow.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Carl Fitzpatrick.